entertainment, sports, news, and opinion. Now, here is Steve Malzberg.
Your letter describes the Lois Lerner emails as being unrecoverable.
Correct.
But fails to mention where the damaged hard drive is today. Do you know where the actual hard drive is that crashed in 2011?
I'm advised the actual hard drive, after it was determined that it was dysfunctional and that with experts no emails could be retrieved, was recycled and destroyed in the normal process.
So was it physically destroyed?
That's my understanding.
So was it melted down? Do you know?
I have no idea what the recycler does with it. This was 3 years ago.
I'm telling you, he left out the word dude. Remember the Bret Baier interview with the former White House official who, when asked about Benghazi, said that, that was 2 years ago, dude. He left out dude. Joining us now on the Malzberg panel, as we welcome you back to the show, is radio host and author of The Big Black Lie, Kevin Jackson, who is back with us, and Democratic strategist and writer Bridget Todd. Hello, both of you.
What's up, dude?
Thanks for having me.
What's up, dude?
It's my pleasure. All right, let's start with you, Bridget. Is there any way, shape, or form of defense for what we saw before this committee today from the commissioner of the IRS? Unapologetic, confrontational, combative, not offering any remorse or comfort or anything. Is this what you expected and what you're happy as a Democrat to have seen?
I think it really comes down to sort of temperament. I think it's one of those things where when you're asked about something over and over again, you don't really respond at your best. I certainly would not have advised him to take such a combative stance, but I think it's understandable. And I think it's one of those situations where we'll really have to wait and see how it plays
out. Kevin's laughing.
I am laughing.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Look, well, first of all, there's a couple of things. There's a thing called risk management in business, and having been a consultant for the world's largest organizations, I can tell you from a risk management perspective.
By the way, Kevin, I hate to interrupt, but whenever there's a Seinfeld opening, I take it. I'm sure you're familiar with the risk management episode where George has to write a whole big thing on risk management for the Yankees. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, the thing about risk is you want to eliminate risk, and so you keep your data. You keep data, emails, you keep things like that. So if someone says, oh, I got told this, or I got, this was said about me or whatever, companies keep that information because they want to be able to go back and to refer to it. So the idea that a government agency that practically requires not only the citizens, we to keep data when they want to audit us, but also they hold corporations to task when they want to look at, EEOC violations and things like that, and they want to look at any particular data, that they're not doing it is ridiculous. And the idea that someone would exonerate this man who has taken over for this agency that he knows is under amazing scrutiny, it's been proven that they are effectively lying to the American public, and you know how much they can affect the individual lives of people. People commit suicide over IRS investigations because they can't get all the data.
Bridget, if this was... Go ahead.
No, I agree. I think IRS investigations are no joke. They're very serious. I think we all know that. But I just think to automatically assume that, not keeping proper records or proper data is necessarily indicative of something sort of, wrongdoing. I think that's really jumping the gun. Of course, ideally, in a perfect world, we would all have data from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But we just know that's not the way the world works all the time. And I think it's frustrating, and I think it's something certainly to be asking questions about, but I really think it's jumping the gun to sort of necessarily say this is proof of wrongdoing.
Well, I
Bridget. First, wait, Kevin, I got to jump in here too for a second. Bridget, this is the IRS who, as Paul Ryan first alluded to today, expects you to keep tax returns and receipts for 7 years. To say that it's a coincidence that she threw away her hard drive. Okay, 10 days after the first letter starting this whole inquiry came to her, and that 6 to 8 other people who were also accused of targeting conservatives have lost their emails. You believe this is all one big coincidence?
I'm saying that I think it's a situation where it's really going to be the best bet to wait until all the information is out before you make any kind of definitive claim if there's no proof of those claims.
Well, I think that's no offense to Bridget, but I will tell you it's patently ridiculous for the IRS to try to pass off this argument and say this is the way it happened. It is a cover-up. It is a cover-up of monumental proportions. And I can tell you there's not a Fortune 100 or Fortune 500, probably even a Fortune 1000 company in America that could not come up with the data from 2 years ago or even 5 years ago, particularly when it's just email that they're looking for. You can pull this data
And here's
up.
the thing, Kevin. Kevin, you're right. And Bridget, here's the thing. If there was an investigation of one of these Fortune 500 companies that Kevin is alluding to, they'd be held to legal consequences for
Absolutely.
not having these things, or especially if it was after an inquiry was launched. I mean, to cavalierly say there's no proof of anything yet, maybe that's right, because maybe they destroyed it all. You're happy with that?
I believe in going from the facts, and I think that certainly this is something to be asking questions about, to be concerned about. But I'd say, show me a smoking gun, and I'd totally be on your side. But I just don't think we've seen that yet.
A smoking gun is the fact that they knew that this investigation was underway. They are obfuscating it by not turning over data that should be readily available. If you can say to me with definitive proof that this is something that is as a standard no one gets held to, then I would say you're right. This is a standard that is this is the basic standard that would be held to a person going before the IRS or for a company who would be under investigation. And I would tell you right now, if you were a Fortune 100 or Fortune 1000 company and you were trying to do this to Congress, people would be in jail.
Absolutely.
Bridget, how about Bridget? The commissioner was asked if he would support a special prosecutor for this case. He said no. What do you say?
I think that there are questions that need to be answered. I think certainly the American people deserve, to have those questions asked, and that's what I think.
See, this is
So
one
is
of these
that yes or no?
Yeah, right. Steve,
Is
this
that
is one of these.
yes or no? Wait. Bridget, is that yes or no on a special prosecutor?
I think that, as I said, the American people deserve to have these
I
questions.
know, but is that yes or no? I'm actually doing. You know what's funny, Bridget? Bridget, here's what's funny. Bridget, what's funny is I'm actually doing exactly what Paul Ryan or whomever did to the commissioner to get him to say yes or no. So I'll ask you one more time. Is that a yes or a no?
I think that there are plenty of ways to get these questions answered. A special prosecutor is one of those ways. That is one of the avenues that we could go down.
Okay, so Steve, let me say this. This is the difference between.
We got to come back. Kevin, we got as usual. I've talked too long. We're coming back. Segment 2. Kevin Jackson and Bridget Todd. Don't go away on the Steve Malzberg Show.